Oh, yes, indeed. I think it's going to be a season full of firsts. A season full of firsts. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for RuPaul's Drag Race. This is season 15. This is episode 1. Like I said, I think this is definitely going to be a season full of firsts. This is the first time we got 16 contestants. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what twists and turns that RuPaul's, that is like my thing. I live for all the twists and the turns and all that. But we got some very interesting girls. Very interesting girls this time. Let's get started because there's a lot to cover. This first episode was truly what I would say is an episode made for actual fans of the show. It was long. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's go over what it is that I just watched. Okay. First girl out is Irene Dubois. She's from Seattle, Washington. She's different. She considers herself an alien, and she's Bosco's sister. So right away, that just kind of tells you she's strange makeup, different types of clothing. She's Bosco's sister. So it is what it is. Next out was Lux Noir, London. She's from East Orange, New Jersey. Right away, her and Irene had this little back and forth thing going on about her 40-inch hair. I said, are we really going to do this? Like, we're going to really make this a thing? We're going to go round and round about the inches of a wig and how long it, like, who really cares? Then she basically, Irene shaded her looks because she was giving, girl, yeah, where I'm from, this thing, I'm the prettiest, this, that thing. That. She told her, girl, yeah, okay, honey. Gave her, girl, you're a brick. I said, what? Wait a minute. Then she was called delusional by her later on in the episode. I was like, girl, she got it in for her. I was like, well, whatever, we'll see. Next out, Aura Mayori. She's from Nashville, Tennessee. Aura has coined herself as the season's trade. Aura's cute. She's little thing. But yeah, her little transformation is cool. And she got muscles. She got a nice body and little stuff like that. She looked like a little wrestler or something. And that's fine. She's a dancing queen. But she's a little bit narcissistic. And I could see her getting on folks' nerves a little bit. But it's going to take a minute before they figure out, they're like, this bitch. But it's going to come. It's going to come. Trust me, it'll come. Next out, Marsha. Old Marsha. She's from New York. And yeah, right away, it's all, oh, girl, she looks like Jan. She's a theater kid. The fact that she named herself Marsha after the Brady Bunch, that tells you a lot about Marsha. See, I thought Jan fell flat, and I think Marsha going to do the same thing. That little character, I think it's going to go, but so far, and then it's just, that's going to be it. Too cute. Okay, cute lasts for a minute. Just a minute. Next, we got Anitra. Let me just go ahead and say that here. I'm Team Anitra. Already, before we even get started good, I'm telling y'all, I am Team Anitra. Anitra, child, she from Vegas, baby. She from Vegas. Yeah. She put me in mind of somebody. But I can't. It's her look. And I can't put my finger on exactly who it is. But when it comes to me, I will definitely let you all know. But she definitely puts me in mind of someone. But I'm Team Anitra. I on this episode, because I did the Meet the Queens episode, and I had some things to say. And now I don't watch the full first episode. Listen, I'm Team Anitra all the way. All the way right now. I'm Team Anitra. Moving on. Next was Miss Malaysia, baby doll Fox. She's from Miami, Florida. She's a big girl. She's the first Miami girl to make it. She, in her regular life, is a hairstylist and a stylist. She's worked with City Grass and Trina as well. So she little bangy, but very glamorous. She's a pageant girl. But she know how to get down. She's street style pretty. Okay, yeah, my kind of girl. I'm living. Miss Malaysia, she cool. I really do hate the. Oh, it's the big girl. Yes, for the big girl. Listen, big drag queens, they go with the business. The big girls be the stuff. It just is what it is. I mean, big girls are bad. They are bad. I don't know why it's this thing. Like, child, they ain't got no problem with competing. They ain't got no problem with leading the pack. A big girl in drag will give you the blues. So you just, child, back up off me with that mess. Anyway, moving on. Next is Princess Poppy, honey. San Francisco, California. She is a girl who went viral on TikTok, and it was for this dress she had, this dress that spelled out homophobic on the front and the back of the dress. And that's the TikTok. You see, with this game that we play here, me, myself included, TikTok and YouTube and all, you never know what's going to go viral. You just welcome it. If anything, hell, this could go viral. I doubt it, but it could. And I'll be right on board, like, yeah, bitch, what? You know what I mean? So you just never know what's going to go viral. But yeah, her dress. I mean, her drag is very interesting. Princess Poppy's drag is interesting. But to go viral about that dress, I was like, really? I said, wow. Okay, cool. No problem. Again, we welcome it. So I like her. And then, baby, they gagged. Because the next girl out, honey, was Miss Sasha Colby, honey. Los Angeles, California. They gagged. She came out, honey, and she was like, it's Sasha Colby, you all, period. Sasha Colby has been in the business for 20 years. She's a former Miss Continental. And yes, she is a body girl. Miss Sasha, child, we like Miss Sasha. I've been following Miss Sasha, child, since way before she even won. She is trans, and she is definitely a body girl. She is what she prefers. She can dance. And she is talented, okay? Because she does like Janet Jackson, but she used to do Janet Jackson and stuff back in the day. So she can dance, she can do choreography and all those things. Miss Sasha's cool. And this is the thing. This is going to be the thing. You're already a former Miss Continental. And I said this in my Meet the Queens. You either are going to bust through the door and kick the door down, or you may actually embarrass yourself here. That's always that really sickening space when you have reached such high esteem in the drag world as to be Miss Continental or Miss Universe or any of those things, and then do something like this. It's a real slippery slope. It's a real thin line, because you really could tarnish your brand messing around with RuPaul's Drag Race, or you could stretch out and make more money for yourself, because that's what it's about. Anytime you see these girls, it's for notoriety and money. Because again, going on here, you don't think Miss Sasha's went up? Of course it did. She made it on the show. Rather, she'd go home tomorrow. You know what I mean? And she made it on the show. So it's going to push her name out there more to the mainstream. Continental, it's still it's a huge drag pageant. That's the drag world. It's not like being on MTV. So she's already won, but you don't want to be, oh, you're this mega drag star. You're the first girl to go home. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a slippery slope. But anyway, she gagged the girls when they seen her. They was like, oh, Yeah, it's always, oh, that's how it's supposed to be. She's a former Miss Continental. When she walks in the door, you all were supposed to say, oh, yeah, all you bitches was supposed to do that. And that's what it gave. Miss Sasha, honey. And Miss Sasha is who Miss Sasha is. She's not the most beautiful girl, but she knows how to work with what she has. She got a body to die for. She got a body to die for. She uses it. Trust me. She gets very naked. Now we'll see how that goes on here as well, because that's her stage persona. She get naked, child. She get naked and gets paid. But this is not that type of competition. So again, it's gonna be interesting. Next out, we see somebody come up and we look and said, what is Ornacia? If you've been watching the show, you know who Ornacia is, honey. Ornacia is the counterpart of our girl Vivacious, honey. And it was Miss Ornacia. But then when she zipped it down, baby, it was Miss Ariana Grande. And they gagged again. She said, mother has arrived. It was Miss Ariana Grande underneath the little costume. Ariana Grande and Rue's banter back and forth was hilarious. It was hilarious. When Ariana looked at Rue and told Rue her pussy was on fire, I about died. I said, oh, what? I said, oh my goodness. But their banter was really, it was good. And I remember when Ariana was here before, and she said, you know, that she wanted to come back because she felt like she had just did the video. Had just come right from a video shoot and all that and everything for her. You know, she didn't get to suck it in and really live in the moment. She wanted a chance to do that. So I'm glad that Rue actually did do that for her. And I think she's going to be a recurring judge this season. So I think we're going to see her more. Anyway, we found out $200,000 cash coming this time. Mini challenge. This was cute for me. It's a throwback to, because it's the first half of the girl. So it's a throwback to the season 1 first mini challenge, which was the photo shoot where the pit crew had the hose and they were spraying water in their face. I said, ooh. So, okay, you know, I'm not going to go through all the girls. I'm going to go through what actually stuck out for me and what I liked. Okay. Lux did a good job. Aura Mayuri did a good job. And Sasha was completely thrown off and did not do well in this challenge. I said, I'm a Sasha girl. And you listen, y'all know I'm a fan, but y'all know how I do this. I'm gonna give it to you just like you give it to us. And you did a shitty job with that. Remember, she's pretty. She's pretty. She's a Miss Continental, honey. So she got to get rid of her little diva-ness for this, because this is one of the things that Rue does with the show, that stripping you down thing. There's some things about this show like that being half in drag, half out of drag. I just cannot, but that's part of the show. Anyway, but they were doing this thing with the hose and she just couldn't get her groove in. So she did terrible as far as I was concerned on that portion of it. You all let me know in them comments what y'all think. I think she did terrible. It was just, she just seemed so out of her element and she seemed very uncomfortable. And the funny part is, I think I would actually probably be the same way. I would probably be the same. The fact you talk about you already wet me yet? What? I was like, ugh. Again, you can't take yourself too serious with this show. It is what it gives. And look, 15 seasons. And I know for a fact those would be the things that I would struggle with. But you know, it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. Anyway, so that whole tension between Irene and Lux keeps going. And child, she called, because again, she keeps coming for her looks. Miss Irene keeps coming for her looks. And then that's why I thought Irene is just a picker. She's a bitch that picks, okay? And she basically is honing herself and saying, this is what I do. I love to read and gag and roast and all that. And girl, she got her sights on Miss Lux. Hey, Miss Lux is forward though, because she surely called the child. And when she got out of dress, she said, ooh, she's a swamp witch. I said, not a swamp witch. Girl, I have to agree, girl. She really did give me she gave me a little hit of Coven, honey. Okay, girl, you ain't on the good side. She got a different kind of look to her. But anyway, Miss Irene ended up winning. She won the challenge. Won the challenge, got $2,500. Okay, $2,500. Then Rue tells us about the Maxi Challenge. The Maxi Challenge is going to be one night only. It is a whole talent extravaganza. So everybody's going to do individual talents. I said, come on with it. So, you know, this has become a new thing where we're doing this full-on talent show, and we're getting to see what just giving the girls the chance to do what it is. What do you do? Show us what you actually do. I like that. I do like that. Because a lot of girls do more than just lip sync. A lot of girls do more than just sing live. So I like that. Anyway, but Rue said, listen, this is the trick. The 8 of you got to go back, and I'm not hiring anybody to do it. You are going to choreograph your own opening. I want a big opening. I want it. I want a big opening. I want to be impressed, but I want you all to choreograph it for yourselves. I said, oh, so right away they're going to see how we work together. And I said, okay, cool, no problem. So they get over there and they already struggling, baby. Marsha went up there and Aura went up there, and they're like, listen, I do choreography. Let's get it. Let's go. Aura, I told you, is a little narcissistic, and she has a complete takeover spirit. Complete takeover spirit, and Marsha's not pushy like that. So that was actually going on. Now, in the midst of all this going on, Rue pulls out, and we got group 2 going on. As we went into the second hour of the show, got a group 2, and group 2 is on the other side of the grounds. Here comes, they done cleaned up the room. Here comes Selena S. Titties. Selena S. Titties is a Hispanic queen who is just loud. She's just loud, and she's just extra. She's from Los Angeles, California. She does comedy. I don't know. It's like we've seen you before. And I talked about her on the Meet the Queens. Bam, girl, we already got one of them. Miss Vanjie, we already got one of those. So I'm just kind of like, girl, I don't know about her personality and whether it's even necessary or needed, because we already got that. And do we want to see it again? I don't know. But yeah, Selena S. Titties, honey. Okay, whatever. Amethyst was the next girl out. She's from Connecticut. Now, this started a thing. Now, see, this is that RuPaul Drag Race thing. 1,500 hoes from Connecticut. I said, what? Amethyst is another girl that went viral on TikTok with her drag. After her, we got Jax. Jax comes out. Jax is from Queens, New York. But then we find out, she's bangy. She's girl. She lead out with, I'm half black, half Puerto Rican. I'm packing. Listen, I've told you all before. Y'all in this wanting to be trade, and I want you to trade. You're not trade because you're a drag queen. So that just irritates me. You can never be trade because you're a drag queen. You're one of the girls. Go sit down. So when they get, it's this season's trade, there's no such a thing. Anyway, but that's who she's. Why do you need to tell these people you packing? That's a different show. What are you talking? Anyway, I ain't getting into it. That when these girls be starting dating each other and stuff, I'll be like, oh, here we go. Child, I come from the time when the girls was girls and the boys was boys. Honey. The drag, never mind. In my day, there still was girls that do kai, which, if you don't know what kai is, honey, 2 drag queens hooking up. Girl, I ain't got time for that. I ain't bumping pocketbooks and losing change. Anyway, but whatever. This is y'all in this show. This is the new millennial, and y'all. This is what y'all be giving. Okay, God bless you. Anyhow, date no other drag queen. No, thank you. Stealing my shit, wearing my shoes. Get out of here. Anyway, she's actually adopted, and she's originally from Connecticut as well. So Connecticut. Next out is Lucy LaDuca. I do like Lucy. I remember Lucy from the meet the the queens. Lucy is a construction worker by day. She's very interesting, very talented and creative and all of that. So I like Lucy. She's another one. She's from Connecticut. Chelsea Shady, because she said, oh, yes, so, I know Miss Amethyst from Connecticut. She said in that outfit she's wearing, it isn't new, honey. I've seen it before. I said, oh, shady, honey. Anyway, next out was Mistress Isabel Brooks from Houston, Texas. And she's a big girl, and she represents. She have her stuff together. Now, child, right away, she looks just like Eureka. Okay, she looks exactly like Eureka, and she is a mean queen, just like Eureka used to be. But remember, Eureka's not like that anymore. Okay, they done house and paper trained Eureka. Eureka not like that no more. So I don't know. It's very off-putting to me because I want to like Mistress, but that little mean girl act, I ain't into it. I'm really not into it. She mean, she nasty. She's nasty. I can see it. Y'all know I don't like bitchy queens, but I want to like her. But yeah, she nasty, baby. They were reading her down when she came in. Honey, y'all see my thumbnail. They were reading her about her pumps. I said, no, they're not. Girl, they was giving it to her about them dick beaters, honey. What they call them, little biscuit pumps, honey. I said, y'all need to stop. It was Jax. Jax was giving it to her. But anyway, she heard them when she came in the door and did her entrance. And she went over and she addressed them about them reading her pumps. And then she dragged Selena for no reason. So she was reading Miss Selena, honey, giving her, girl, what you got on, girl? What are them? She said, girl, these is boxers I got on. She said, girl, your look is giving me prison, honey. I said, oh. I'm like, girl, you don't even know her. Nasty. She nasty. She had a nasty disposition. She do a lot of talking about folks where she ain't got no respect for the girls who are younger, who are newer performers. And we'll get into that in a minute. But anyway, moving on. Next was Robin Fierce. She's from Connecticut as well. I said, so what is the whole second half of the show all from Connecticut? You sent a talent scout? So y'all get on my nerves with this, just like how they, you get 3/4 of a show from the West Coast. Anyway, Robin Fierce, let me say right away, from Connecticut, has a past tryst with Amethyst. So there's some history between her and Amethyst. I guess it was messing with each other. Mess. But this child, not only does she look like her, she has a style like her. She's like a carbon copy of Sahara. If y'all remember, if you haven't been here with the show that long, go back and do your history. Sahara Davenport. It's uncanny on this episode how much, even in her confessionals, I was like, oh my God, it was like look at Sahara in her face. I said, oh my goodness, rest in peace to Miss Sahara Davenport, honey. But that's who she reminded me of. Y'all tell me what y'all think. It was like Sahara had a baby. I said, oh my gosh. But yeah. Wow. Anyway, so moving on. Next is Sugar and Spice. It's the first time ever we ever have twins. They're from Long Island, New York, but they now live in LA. They're twins. They are TikTok famous, honey, okay? They're not show queens. See, a couple of these girls, like Lux and the twins, they weren't even old enough to be performing in the bars. So their drag has kicked off on social media. And they were meeting some pushback from some girls about that. And they have to deal with this stuff. Selena does not like them at all. And she said, because they talk a lot. Well, so do you. Teddies. You talk a lot too. I was waiting on you to shut up. Like you said, you was waiting on them to shut up. I was waiting on you to shut up. And I think you a carbon copy. You want to be like Carmen. You want to be like Vanjie. I was waiting on you to shut up too. So I just didn't get it. I was like, and the truth of the matter, girl, I'll take the twins over Selena. So I was like, girl, whatever, ma'am. Anyway, they go on. Next thing you know, they get gagged again. I said, is this Ariana coming out with them? No, it was Ornacia again but this time it was actually Vivacious. I said, hey, mother, what's up? So Vivacious came. Naturally, she had some banter with Rue, and then Rue, they love Miss Vivacious's walk, honey, and they gave her walk, and she left, honey, mother out, and she left. It was good to see her, honey. I was like, oh, Miss Vivacious, love Miss Vivacious and Miss Ordination, honey. Anyway, then they go into mini challenge for these girls. It's a copy as a throwback. It's the season 2 photo shoot with that big fan. Y'all remember the fan that was blowing everybody's wigs and their eyelashes off? So it's that again. Now in that one, Selena actually did good. I thought Selena's photo was really sharp. Spice wanted to set herself apart. She took her wig off, and Rue was trying. Listen, Spice, darling. Sometimes Rue give you clues and say, bitch, that ain't it. And that's what she did to you. You wanted to be different and you wanted to set yourself apart. So you put a shower cap on, took your wig off. And Rue said to you specifically, are you telling me you want to do hairography with a shower cap? Now, I mean, it's your world, sis. Live in it. But the key word was, you want to do hairography. I'm looking for hairography. You can't give me hairography with no hair. You weren't listening. You weren't paying attention. You're young. You weren't paying attention. You better pay attention to Rue. Rue always give you context clues. And if that old heifer tells you hairography, know that you can't do hairography with no hair, boo. Anyway, it was a gamble and it didn't pay off. Lucy was the winner. Won $2,500. Although my favorite picture was Selena, strangely enough. Then I started seeing their group is just flat out. You can't even get around it. They're just flat out. They're mean. They are being mean to Sugar and Spice. And a lot of that is jealousy. It's jealousy and envy because they all know who they are, because they are TikTok famous. They all know who they are, but they want to give it to them because they're not show queens and all that. And again, it just is what it is. Girl, if you're good, you're good. I like the twins. More so Spice than I do Sugar. I said that earlier on in my Meet the Girls. I liked Spice. I like Spice. I didn't really care for Sugar all that much on Meet the Girls, but on this first episode, I like both twins, but I do really like Spice. And I'm telling you, flat out, Anitra is my girl. Anitra's my girl, okay? Anyway, so they end up going, they're going to go, they tell them about the one night only thing and all of that. Rue ends up taking those 8 and joins them with the first 8 and then tells them, here, now you put them in on the number that y'all already started. I said, Rue, you a raggedy heifer. Put them all in there. So then we actually touch on the whole situation about social media drag versus show queen drag and the tension and that kind of thing. And then something that I'm actually seeing now, I'm seeing that at first Mistress was being mean and she was reading and stuff. She's reading, talking about the girls didn't know how to put their wig on. She's reading twins, but that's because she's a hateful bitch and she was feeling a kind of way. Okay. She said, I know them, but they have to prove themselves to me. But then I noticed that when the rest of the group started being very shady and falling in, because she's the first one to shade them, was Mistress with her shady ass. And then when the other girls started shading them, then Mistress decided she wanted to help them and she wanted to pair herself with them. Mistress, I see you. Do I think that that's totally genuine? Not at all. I see you. I see you. I see you. Whatever. Moving on. So let's go on into the show. They go over, they meet. Of course, they have their stare down. And then they get it together, child. They go on and do their little choreography. Everything looks fine. It's okay. Nothing real big. No big deal. They do their thing. Then they start the show. I was surprised that all these girls really had a lot going on, as far as actually having their individual talents. I was happy about that. Spice opened the show and turned it. She came in there And you know, Spice and Sugar are Barbie dolls, basically. They are Barbie dolls. That's their little persona. They're these not really Barbie dolls. They're dolls, but it's one of them big head dolls. They look sort of like brat dolls, that kind of thing. They pattern themselves after that. But she was in a coffin, honey, and she pops up and she says, I'm bored. I said, girl, yes, honey. And then she starts doing this whole rap. Where my ding-a-ling go? And it was actually good. So she actually has her own rap song. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Then right after her, Miss Lux come on, and Miss Lux is doing her own song, but she lip synced her song and danced her little soul down. Had this really cute, sheer, stoned cat suit, no titties. I said, here we go. Flat-chested boy, just get it on down with no titties. They talked about that too, the whole thing about younger queens not liking padding and all of that. And Michelle made some good points to hey, just a little pop of hip. I ain't said you gotta have the back of the couch on, but you would just, you know, y'all. She said, I have a nice body, honey. I like show. Said, girl, a little pop of hip, honey, would make your waist look even smaller. Yes, it would. So that's that. And go, but she ain't saying about no titty. Go get you some titties. But anyway, all right. Anyhow. Next was Mistress. Mistress did a rap as well, and it was good. Her little rap song is good as well. And then she bust out and did a split at the end. I said, she's letting y'all know, don't come for me, honey. Now, Miss Lucy sang live, but she's not a dancer. She looked great. But she's not a dancer. That look was on point. And it just kind of fell flat because it, you know, was what it was. And the vocal performance wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst either. Even Ariana said, you know, I would have wanted the vocals to be more dynamic if you're going to do this whole singing live thing. And she's just not a dancer, so it was a dance song. It wasn't if she just did a ballad or something. Anyway, moving on. Marsha was next. Miss Marsha did like this whole liturgical dance thing, which was really good. She was getting down. It was really good, but it was all done to I'll make love to you, Boys the Men. And it was a picture of Ross Matthews, shout hilarious. So it was comedy, it was actual dance, because she can dance for real. So it's actual dance, and it was a comedy skit. It was really good. Robin Fierce. This was horrible. I don't know what the whole point of this. She did Heavy D. That Heavy D, it was that now that we've got love, what are we gonna do? Honey, why are you doing that man song? And it's a rap song. What? Oh, 90s throwback. It's probably in that list because Rue probably like it, but girl, you listen to that on the weekends, bro. Y'all kill me with these men song shit that don't make no sense. That didn't make sense. That was horrible. She looked great, but she's up there look like Sahara. The outfit was cute, but that number, that was terrible. I didn't enjoy that at all. I thought it was stupid. Anyway, moving on. Miss Irene next. She did this whole comedy skit. It's supposed to be a comedy skit about a glass of ice water. It was a complete fail. It fell completely flat. It was cringeworthy how flat it fell. A nightmare. Then next came Miss Anitra. Miss Anitra lit the place on fire. On fire. Do you hear me? Now, you know, I listen. I'm from the real ballroom. I know what the real ballroom gives. So when the Rue girls start with their little versions of Vogue, and I'll be like, girls, sit down. Because drag and ballroom drag is something totally different. It's totally different. Some were standing up popping and doing a photo shoot, or popping and doing a drag show is much different than femme queen performance or butch queens up in drag's performance in the ballroom. It's totally different. So when they start that, I just be like, oh, anyway. But no, when I tell you Mr. Anitra has a sickening duck walk. She has a sickening duck walk. That child could walk into any ballroom and there'd be a duck walk competition and light it up. Her duck walk is nasty. I said, oh, and she had this bodysuit on that was flawless. It was flawless. And then she mixed in this whole thing, and she's doing her own song. And she mixed in this whole thing with martial arts. She does martial arts, and she had one of the pit crew standing by, and baby, she did these little martial arts and bust these boards with him, back kicking. And I said, girl, you better go ahead, honey. Her number was everything. It was everything. I loved it. Next was Sugar. Sugar did a cute rap as well, did her own thing. I said, good. So the twins single-handedly in here cracked the face of the folks giving them, since they're not show queens, they probably don't have no time. Miss Thing, they're pretty good from their couches, honey. So y'all better look out. Next was Poppy. Poppy did this really cute, Miss Princess Poppy, cute little comedy skit. It was a cute thing with a hand puppet. It worked. It was cool. Selena did a little rap thing. She did her own song called Flying Your Light. It was cool as well. Next was Amethyst. This one fell flat. It was a good idea, but the reveal was too early on, and it didn't have anywhere to go. She did that been around the world and I can't find my baby. And she was drunk and walking, but she had tennis shoes on. That was the first thing. Them tennis shoes, I said, well, they're going to get you. But then she revealed the back, that on the back, she had the baby and a backpack child. Told her she drunk as hell. Told her she lost the baby, had a baby on her back. But she revealed it too early on, so it didn't have anywhere to go. So that kind of messed up. Next was Aura. Aura, she did a whole number that was very much like, it was just drag. I don't know if it was her own song. I don't believe that it was her own song. But the whole number, the outfit, everything screams Sierra. No. Because of the fact, yes, you're pretty, yes, you're good, yes, you're talented. That whole, but it's like a more of a masculine dance thing. It really accented her masculinity, which is cool. Her masculine, feminine energy is cool in some spaces, but this came across more masculine, where that works for Sierra because Sierra is just femme. The real Sierra is just femme. So that comes across in a sexy way. This just came across as my little cousin dressed up to a Sierra song. So I wasn't really here for it. The top was so sharp though. It was the whole outfit was very much, and there were flat boots, but the whole outfit was very much something that Sierra would have tore up. The dance number and everything. But I just wasn't here for it. It was just okay. It was the masculine energy was overpowering for me with her. And then she had too much skin showing. She got muscles, child. Moving on. So Miss Sasha was next. Miss Sasha just gave them an old nasty piece of pageant number. It was a shortened down pageant number to Zombie. And it was, and of course she got naked. Just broke down into a swimsuit and a cute white thigh-high boot. That was Miss Sasha. Next was Jax. Jax is another one that she's in that masculine energy thing. She did a song, Attitude, and she jump roped with her hair, and her hair clipped off, and then she did like a floor run of backflips. So it was exciting. It was cool, but she has to be very careful with the balance of her masculine, because she's banji. She is a banji girl, but she got to be very careful with her balance her masculine energy, because again, it's very easy for her to come across looking like somebody's little nephew. Next was the Runway, and the Runway was Who Is She? So we were just getting a glimpse at who the girls are. Miss Anitra, clean. And she sews. She makes her own stuff. She had this badass jumpsuit on. It was a cat suit, and it was very different. It even had like a little hint of avant-garde to it. It was really sharp, and it was truly her. I liked it. I got a clear picture of who Anitra is. And by the time we got to this category, I was like, child, I'm Team Anitra. Baby Doll was next. That bitch came out there giving you pageant, honey. White, beaded down, head to toe, and had an old nasty piece of fur stole, sharp. Sharp, sharp, sharp. Sasha, same thing. Sasha came out and actually wore one. I actually remember the gown, one of her gowns she wore when she won Continental. So yeah, child, undeniable, dead on her brand. Jax came out and it was given very Banji. Again, she has to watch that balance of energy, but that bitch had on color block. She's doing like a 90s throwback. I wasn't crazy about the outfit, but when I tell you that boot was nasty, ooh wee, and it was just so nasty. It was a leather thigh-high boot. It was nasty. It was so sharp, and it was color block, but it wasn't so throwback to the 90s that you could wear them boots now. That boot was sickening, but the rest of it, I was just like, okay. Moving on. Miss Lucy, honey. Miss Lucy gave you this whole gown that was sharp. Miss Lucy, you know she make her stuff too. But this gown and her body was sickening. And this gown, she looked sickening. And it was themed around like a flight attendant. It was a flight attendant gown. It was sharp. It was really sharp. Looked really good. Sugar and Spice both came as like basically slutty Barbies. One in yellow, one in blue. It was cool. It was all right. Jax's runway hair, ew, I hated it because it was red and it was braids, and the baby hair was just too much. It was like pulled down and it was like a whole line going around. That was just terrible. It looked like she had a wave, like they did a wave, one wave going around. It was ugly. I didn't care for it at all. Child, they read Miss Marsha about her makeup and said, girl, you basically got on a little chapstick, honey, and a little cocoa butter on your face, girl. It worked for this time, but don't try it again. You need some makeup on, honey. Miss Lucy, when they gave her critiques, she got a little emotional because she knew she had fallen on her face with her song and all that. She got a little emotional, but she showed a lot of her character of who she is. Because once she got emotional, she was right on stage. It was very professional, showed her professionalism because she was able to pull herself up out of it instead of having like this big ugly crowd already, like to where we'd be like, girl. She pulled herself up out of it and told a joke and transferred that whole energy. That was excellent. It was excellent, and it was so professional to actually be able to move your mood and switch your mood like that. That said a lot to me. I told y'all I like Lucy too, so you know, it is what it is. I like that. That was cool, Miss Lucy. But overall, for the Maxi Challenge, Miss Anitra was the winner and got $5,000. The bottom two were Miss Irene and Miss Amethyst. They had to perform to 7 Rings by Ariana Grande. Listen, for me, it was literally a tie. They both were lip syncing their asses off. They were dead on both of them. And it was a tie. But they ended up sending Irene home. And I agree. Because again, like I said, and I was glad they didn't do it. I thought they were just going to do it because Amethyst did a split. You know, they get on my nerves with that. Amethyst did a split. It was cool. But I don't think, you know, it was a tie for me with the lip sync. I think what ended up sending, for me, while I would have chose Irene, that talent was just a big fail. So I'm sure if for me, since they were a tie, I would have went to that next thing. You know, I broke down what the next thing was, and that would have definitely did it for me because she failed more so than Amethyst did. So anyway, that's it. That's all. That's what we got out of this episode here. I told you about 45 minutes. I've been running my mouth. This was the episode for a true fan because it was long. It was long, but it was good. It was worth every moment. Listen, this has been season 15, episode 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race on MTV. We are on MTV, kids. Anyway, and I will see you all soon. Good night.